On a galactic timescale, even with sublight travel, you could absolutely colonize the whole galaxy, even some of the neighboring galaxies. If you said a million years and say there's no new physics, could you colonize the galaxy in a million years? Absolutely. The entire galaxy.
So you would start with Mars, build bases on Mars, then use Mars to jump off to all these other planets, set up places there, and over thousands of years easily.
Just kind of like hop from one solar system to the next, and
It seems like that's imperative. Like that has to happen if the human civilization is going to survive. Because our planet is we're too subject to natural disasters and our own folly, and if the species is going to survive, we kind of have to escape.
It's mostly about the species. I mean, there have been some real doozies of, massive meteors and super volcanoes and continents moved all over the place, and Earth's been a snowball and super hot. If you read like the geological history of Earth, it's like very long and complicated. And then there have been so many extinction events, not like just a few. The Permian extinction event, that was a real rough one, where it's like well over 90% of all species died out. That doesn't tell the whole story, because a huge chunk of the remaining species were fungi and like sponges and stuff like that. Are you a sponge? Okay. You're probably doing okay. But if you're like a human, you're screwed.
How much time before there's regular travel back and forth to Mars? Roughly. Like a real civilization on Mars.
Well, I think it's going to take a while to build a real civilization. The threshold that really matters is, for getting past the Great Filter, is do we have enough resources on Mars such that if the spaceships from Earth stop coming,
you can survive?
Yeah. So I could only be just missing one little thing. You'd be like, you're on a long sea voyage, and the only thing you're missing is vitamin C. It's only a matter of time,
Yeah.
And there's going to be curtains. So you got to have all the things necessary to sustain civilization on Mars. And the reason that the ships from Earth stopped coming could be World War III, or it could be due to a slow decline of civilization. So civilization here on Earth could end with a bang or a whimper. And I'm not sure people totally understand, like, Starship is the largest flying object ever made. This thing will be over 5,000 tons weight on liftoff. It's going to go straight up with 5,000 tons. This is much heavier than any aircraft by far. There's no aircraft even comes close to this weight. And it's going straight up. The aircraft can't go straight up. So it's like it's got more than twice, it will have more than twice the thrust of a Saturn V.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a big rocket.
Why does it need that much thrust? Because you want to go to Mars? Or is this like...
We're trying to make life multiplanetary, extend life beyond Earth. And in order to do that, you have to have high tonnage to Mars. And that means you need a big rocket, and you got to fly a lot.
So the reason why it has twice the thrust of the Saturn V is to plan for these interstellar trips. Interplanetary trips. So when you're doing this and you're developing these systems thinking about regular trips to other planets, but you're not just trying to get into orbit right now. You're trying to get into orbit with something that eventually could scale up. Yeah,
we know how to get to orbit. We've done that a lot. So the really hard thing is we need to have a fully and rapidly reusable rocket where all elements of the rocket are reused, and they're reused quickly, like an aircraft. And this has never been done. This is the holy grail of rocketry, is to have a fully reusable rocket. Then you need to go one step further. It needs to be fully and rapidly reusable. It's like
a plane.
Yeah. Like a plane lands, you refuel it and take off again.
So there'll be you say the Great Filter. What did you mean by that?
Well, so there's something called like the Fermi paradox of like, where are the aliens?
Yeah.
So, where are the aliens? And I think it was Carl Sagan that said, like, there either are a lot of aliens or none. And either they're equally terrifying. If there are a lot of aliens, well, the invasion ship / bug infestation just, like...
Starship Trooper style?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like an alien civilization might just view us as like a bug infestation.
Right.
It's like, hey, we left that planet, it was fine. Now it's got a bunch of bugs, just go fumigate it, like refumigate a house. That's certainly possible. But if there are no aliens, well, could it be that all civilizations are just destroyed before they become interstellar? So, and I want to be clear, like, to the best of my knowledge, there is no evidence for alien life on Earth. There's no direct evidence for alien life. And if somebody says, well, what about this alien sighting or whatever? I'm like, listen, it's got to be at least as good as a 7-Eleven or ATM can, okay? It's like, if somebody's got to have at least like an iPhone 1 level camera, Yeah. Like something,
The problem with that is it's just too easy to fake things today, too.
Yeah, sure. They should at least try hard. Honestly, I think I would know if there were aliens.
I would hope so. That's why I'm asking you. Do you think that they would want us to know? Or do you think they would just be observing and making sure we don't blow ourselves up? Would
I don't know, man. They're real
civilization.
They sure are subtle. I mean, if they wanted us to know, obviously they could just, for sure, show up and walk down Main Street, like, hey, I'm an alien, check me out, Right. Here's my spaceship, I just land in the middle of Times Square. I'll be like, right. Okay.
Or hover over downtown LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we believe you.
Yeah.
So whatever they are very subtle, these aliens.
How often do you think about it?
None, zero.
Zero? Even though you're thinking about interplanetary travel, you don't really think about aliens.
No, I mean, if they show up, I'm like, great, okay, now this is new information. So, we have archaeologists going all over the world looking at things. There's this people, like, if we were to find something like, let's say, like a cube of titanium, just like a 1-inch cube of titanium, say, in the middle of the pyramid, I'd be like, aliens for sure. There's no way they could have made titanium back then. There's no way. That's hard. That's all. One didn't even need a computer. Like, a computer would be like, hey, wow, computers, they didn't have computers back then, so it must be aliens. But even just like some advanced metallurgy, anything. Like, we could say anything like that.
Right. Nothing like that that we could point to that we can't do.
Everything that we found archaeologically is consistent with the time, the technology they had at that time.
Archaeologically.
Yes.
Yeah. So you just talked about old stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, just throughout history. It's not like... Yeah. Like if aliens visited, there'd be something buried somewhere, I think. We haven't seen anything. So, anyway. I mean, maybe there are aliens, but they're very subtle. If they are, they're being pretty shy. So, as far as we can tell, there's none. So, nor are we seeing signals from any other solar system or anything like that. So, if I see some evidence for aliens, I'll be the first to be like, aliens,
Right. Then you'll investigate. But until then, you think it's kind of a waste of time?
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely seems like a waste of time if nothing's happened so far. You think about all the people that have been researching aliens for their whole life, and they have very little to show for it, other than cool stories.
Yeah.